Alright, hey guys. I just got my new bed liner from Ford. You can see it's the official one. It's got the Ford logo molded in there. So it's the official parts one. This is a 2020 Ford Ranger. It's the extended cab. I'm sorry, not the extended cab. It's the four-door version. So it's got a little bit shorter bed on it. It's got the 5-foot bed. But I wanted to get the bed liner. It also helps that they allowed me to use some of my points that I earned. They call them Ford Pass points. So I paid for $220 worth of this with those points that I got when I purchased the truck. And then, so I really only paid $132 cash. Now I saved myself 50 bucks. So it would have been, the bed liner's $349 and it would have been an additional 50 for installation. But I saved myself 50 bucks by doing a self-install. So I'm going to show you how to self-install now. Okay, so this is the main bed liner. It also comes with the tailgate cover here. That's separate from the bed liner. Okay, so what you're going to do for that part is you're going to remove these screws here, and then you're going to install these spacers. They go down through. So these spacers go in there, and then the same bolts will go back in that same hole. So there's 8 of those on the tailgate. Okay, it also comes with these plug covers. So those are going to go in the 6 holes around here. The 2 in the front and the 2 in the back are where the tie downs are. You can see them in there. Okay, and then they've got these little retainer clips, like this. It's got these little retainer clips that push in there so that they kind of flap open and you can spin them to the side. So I'll show you that after I get them installed. But those are the plugs. There's 2 bolts here that go in the back. There's one there and one on that side that hold the bed liner in. But then the bed liner itself is just held in by the molding. So it kind of fits in under the bed rails. To put that in, I'm sorry I couldn't show you that part, but I actually did that at the dealership so that I didn't have to tie it down or anything and risk it blowing out on the way back. So we pressed it in there. It goes in really quick. So what you do is you set it in there. You're going to leave it back about 6 inches from the cab when you first set it in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull up in the middle, and that's going to allow the sides to kind of bend, and then they're going to kind of tuck under the rails, and then everything kind of clips in. And then you'll just kind of go around and you'll just make sure everything's pushed in. And then there's a couple of issues, like right there in the middle of the cab, it's bumped up a little bit. It bent a little bit while we were putting in. No big deal. It's not kinked. So when it heats up from the sun, that'll go back down on its own. And then it's up a little bit here. But again, when it heats up from the sun, that should go down on its own, especially after I get everything bolted in. How many tools you're going to need this kind of star-shaped. It's a torque head. There's a T20 for the bolts in the tailgate. And then there's a T30 for the bolts, the 2 bolts that go in the bed liner. Those are the 2 tools that you're going to need. This is not something that most people have in their garage, and I'm just going to drive it with this 1/4-inch driver. It's not something that most people have in their garage. I had already purchased a set of these earlier for a motorcycle project I was working on. But if you don't have these and you don't want to buy them, you can go to most auto parts store, so like AutoZone or Advance Auto, and they should be able to loan you a set of those for free. So, and you could probably even do this in their parking lot and give them right back to them if you wanted to. So I told you something wrong earlier. I'm going to correct myself. But I've got the 8 bolts out. It's the 4 sets of doubles all the way down. This one and the one right there that it's by itself, leave those in. Those will just stay in the tailgate. You're going to slide the tailgate cover up into place. Okay, we've got it in place and line it up with the holes, and then you're going to drop these hat looking spacers in the hole, and then you're not going to use the original bolt that you just took out. You're going to use the new ones that they provided. It's got like a pink I don't know if it's anti-seize or it's Loctite. It's going to be one or the other. I'm assuming it's Loctite, but it's on there, and that's going to drop in and go down into that hole, and you're going to use your same T20 socket to put that in there. So I'll zip those in real quick and I'll be right back. Next step is you have 2 kind of plug looking things that look like this. There's going to be a hole right behind the tailgate, right there on each side. You're just going to put it in the hole and push it in with your thumb until it doesn't click anymore, and that's it. All right, the last step is you've got this little push fastener And you've got your plug. You're going to put one on each of the 6 holes. It's just going to pop in there. Just kind of work it around. There we go. And line up that tab with the hole and just push your push lock pin in there, and that'll keep it in place. If you take it out, it'll just kind of hold there and you can pop it back in. Alright guys, I got everything in. I've got the 6 plugs in. Everything looks good. Ford was going to charge 50 bucks. This took me about 15 minutes, and it probably could have been a little bit faster if I wasn't taking the time to make a video. So it is what it is. Obviously 50 bucks isn't that much, but if you're a hardcore DIY guy like myself, you have a hard time paying somebody for something you can do yourself. And I kind of enjoyed it. You will have the 8 bolts left over from the original ones. You can hold on to those if you're like me and hold on to everything. I can't see where you would ever need them unless you wanted to take this cover off for some reason. But hold on to them if you want. Otherwise, they will be extra. They don't go to anything. And there is your official Ford bed liner. I've got my official inspector here. She says that it's good to go. She likes it. Everything's installed properly. I believe it passes the sniff test. So we are good to go. Thanks, guys.